Greetings and salutations, this is Rick Koppel, coming at you with another episode of Not a Linux Guru Guy channel. Today we're continuing our series of new user Linux reviews, and we're going to look today at a more interesting one called Makulu LinDoz on the other side of the intro. Alright, so we're going to look at this LinDoz operating system. Just kind of has a bit of history to it, a little bit of interesting, in that it was originally a system to look like Windows. They had a lot of the Windows graphics on it, things like that. And they kind of got a little bit of hot water over copyright issues, I believe. And they were sued by Windows and eventually worked it out. Anyway, so now they're LinDoz still, but they have this look and feel sort of like Windows, but not strictly. They changed it up a bit so it doesn't look exactly like Windows, like it were before. Never seen a review on this, and the reviewers wondering how they had all these, how they hadn't gotten copyright issues. Well, they did. So, yeah. So, LinDoz is interesting. Now, Makulu. It says on their screen, let me go to that real quick so you can read it together. Okay, so there's Makulu Linux, a whole world of possibilities, it says. Linux has never been so beautiful, easy, or more fun to use. And they have this, basically all these different things here. Now the interesting thing is that when you go to their main site, MakuluLinux.com, you have you don't have the normal, what do you call it? It says they have a lot of other stuff here that you have available to look at. Like you got core development logs, shift development logs, LinDoz, which is where we're going to go, forums, book for donate. So you have to know to go to LinDoz here. So it's not as easy as a website to navigate. They don't have a download button right on the front page or anything like that. So you go to LinDoz here, and bomb, there you are. Now there's still no download button yet, but you have all this text. And I don't know why websites like to do this, but I mean I kind of know why they do it, but I don't agree with it, so to speak. Have all this light text, it's hard to read in here against white background. If that is some black background or white text with black background or somewhere like that. You need to have some better contrast so it's easier to read, especially for us older folks. Anyway, that's neither here or there at this point, except it makes the website a little harder to navigate and to read. But anyway, you go down through here, so you got all this stuff. Talks about their coronavirus situation, how they need money. Please donate so much. So that I think is a good idea. You go there, go donate to them. A Patreon page, and it's got this video about this is what it looks like when you log into their live CD. You know, these little interesting things which I'll show you here in a minute. And download links. So you finally get download links down on this page here. And you got your ISO files down here. Let's see, get it from these different mirrors, or you can get it, and then you got your SHA1 and MD5 hashtags that you can compare your downloads to make sure they're downloaded correctly. So anyway, this is one you want. It's the only one that they have available, really. Is LinDoz 64. They don't have a 32-bit legacy. So those are out on this system. Yeah, the only thing you have here is ISO files, or you have the OVA virtual images. I want to select this since I know the virtual images will screw up my system, like I did one time. I tried one of those. Anyway, so I did this a long time ago, and I just downloaded it on this machine over here, as you'll see in a minute. So I downloaded this ISO, and I'm ready to roll. Okay, now we're going to go over to our GNOME box. As you see, I've given this 4 gigabytes of memory and 30 gigabyte hard drive. Customized that specifications, and we will create okay, now here we are, default 17 seconds. Just figure out what you want to do. Your text mode, no mode set, load to RAM, no probe, memory test, boot hard disk, still away, all that good stuff. Got ready to take off here, so we'll wait for it, and it's going to boot up in the live VM. Now this interesting thing is that it comes up in this these menu favorites. You also things, system icon. Okay, you run through the system real quick for you, so you can watch this and see what it says. It's a nice little introduction, I guess, for it, and it's kind of graphical interface. It just takes you through it automatically. Don't have to do anything, just sit here and wait for it. I don't think you have any choice but to wait for it to finish. A little bit long, I guess, but it's supposed to be probably a good idea for people new to Linux to kind of see this interesting thing. Showing you the software center. Makulu. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Makulu. Makulu, actually. Makulu. Once you get out of this, the video's over, and then you get to play with your new system. Okay. Now this is the same thing that pops up when you install system, boot into it from the field. So we'll do that now. So what happened is that apparently you have to download the virtual edition of LinDoz in order to run in a virtual box install. So that obviously it's all that was in a virtual box, and it didn't even give me the option to install at all. I found out a couple of things on it, which I can show you here real quick. I think I got it still up, and I wasn't able to find an installer for this thing. I did find out that there was application. Can't see it because it's so light and I just barely read it. Applications, places, in system. So I thought for sure I'd find another system folder, but no luck. I went to preferences and all the preferences listed. I couldn't find it there. And administration, couldn't find it there. And this is where you expect to find it actually. But no luck there. No installer. And all the rest is about this multi-menu apparently. So I'll just tell you what happened, okay? How's that for thing? The reason I gave this a 5, which is the lowest score that I gave any of the distros on the installation, was because when you click on automatic partitioning, it doesn't do it right. Something happened. I'm not sure exactly what the problem was. I suspect maybe it's because it didn't create a UE system installation, is why I had problems with that. So I had problems with that with Arch when I tried to install Arch on my laptop too. In a virtual box. The only way the time I was able to do it was to set the flag in VirtualBox. This was a UE installation, and then it went through right. But before that, I couldn't get to work because every time I went to install a grub menu, I had problems with it. Anyway, that neither here nor there. I suspect that's why what happened here is it just created one big giant partition for the whole system. Didn't realize I was in the UE system for some reason, and so I didn't install it as a UE system. So I had problems. So what I had to do is go in and I reran the installation, and I put it on I basically partitioned it myself with a UE system structure, and then it ran through and installed without a problem. Of course, most new users aren't going to know how to do that, probably, most cases. So yeah, it's problematic with that issue, that end of it. So anyway, that's what I was trying to show on here, and I was also wanting to show you which you did get to show that part at least, was the introduction video that it gives at the beginning of the live CD, live boot up. And here we are on the LinDoz desktop on my alternate war writing computer, and this is what it looks like out of the box as you log into it. It's got the modern theme. There's modern themes for everything. It looks kind of Windows, doesn't it? I wonder why. Anyway, yeah, we'll go through it real quick and see what we got here. Okay, so we've got the website check. We talked about installation. We just had a good guided tour to it when you popped on. Actually, I had one kind of guided tour for when you logged into the CD, live CD, and a different guided tour when you logged into the installation on your desktop. So we did have a guided tour. You get 10 on that point. Install this program out of the box. Okay, so what do we got on here? We got Chrome. Google Chrome is an installation. Now this comes like with this Windows setup, but you can switch. You don't have to have this window set up. It's got theming on it, but I call it cinnamon menu. Yeah, I use cinnamon menu on this, as I think I probably already mentioned. Anyway, you got up here, you got your grid, application view mode, or you can use list. More traditional look to it. So, but for purposes, what we're going to do here is see the program more easier. I think it'll be good to do this. Okay, so internet, they just have Google. They don't have any email program to speak of. You have to install your own email program, Thunderbird or whatever your heart desires, Geary, that kind of thing. So and then you have your file manager, which is Nemo on here, which of course I love, so that's positive in my book. Then they have word processor. Now the word processor is a little bit different on here in Office. They have WPS, which is proprietary, a bit more of a program. You got to agree to the license first time you run it. And I've never used it, so I can't really speak to how good it works, stuff like that. I assume since it's Word, I assume it's WPS means Word Perfect Software or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure what it means exactly, but yeah. So anyway, you got that. So, but you do have a word processor, regardless. I think you probably, but if you want to, like I would have, I'd have to install LibreOffice on this because everything I've got is LibreOffice versions of stuff, so I can't really use this very easily. So we've got that. Now music media players. We have VLC first, so we have definitely got a good media player. We have MPV music player, and that's about it. I installed OBS obviously myself on there. Yeah, so there's really no other music player on here, so you have to find your own music player if you want one of those. Okay, so that's pretty much it on the software front. You really got minimal minimal program installation on here for the most part, other than your preferences and stuff like that, and your favorite apps. So, which is a good number of those things: font selectors, firewalls, effects, displays, desktops, desk splits, date time, color, Bluetooth managers, backgrounds, applets, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. And it's got games here. It's got Steam on it. Comes with Steam installed out of the box, which is kind of interesting choice. And so I have a Conky installed over here too. I haven't seen any Conky stuff. Probably in Deslet. It's a Deslet thing, yeah, probably. Where the presets are going to clock options. For news headlines, it's got a LinDoz theme pack released. Patch or patch version. It's got over here it's got a bunch of information, important news from headlines from LinDoz itself. LinDoz. Yeah. Interesting. And they have an interesting quotes hourly. Follow is a place where they place you under contract instead of under observation. Okie dokie. Whatever. So anyway, you got displays, specs. Yeah, all your standard assembly functions are in these preferences, administration, that kind of thing. And your accessories. Just so you know what's under graphics up here. Comes with MyPaint and Nomax. Now it also has Wine installed on here, as well as Play on Linux. And that kind of, so I'm wondering how much they're trying to be more of a gamer. Obviously the LinDoz has Wine and stuff on here, and hopefully Windows games will work on here. I'm surprised they don't put Proton on here. That would make sense. It's got Steam, but I don't see Proton. It's all built into Steam itself, but usually there's like Proton this, Proton that, other options you select for that kind of thing. I haven't ran across any of that. Maybe in here, and I just haven't noticed or noticed it. It also has Warpinator on here, in case you wonder about that. So, yeah, there you go. Let's see. The LG set printer worked pretty much out of the box. Yeah, it's sitting there waiting for me when I open it up and it printed out the test page fine, so it gets perfect 10 on that point. Excelente. And keyboard shortcuts, standard cinnamon thing, so I get the same score I gave Cinnamon Desktop on Linux Mint. I think it was 8 or something. Let me see. Keyboard. Yeah, 8 is what I gave that. Themes wallpaper gave it 8. But I think I just gave it another one. Yeah. Themes and wallpapers, they have a lot of wallpapers. A lot of wallpapers, but very little theming, which really doesn't make much sense. Now the theming on this is pretty good actually. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You got to open up your setups, and you open up your setups, system settings here. I don't know if they really wanted to be fully more of that. I guess one of the things is there's wine tricks, play on Linux down here, theme. Don't find any Proton information, Proton tricks, stuff like that. You can install that if you wanted to, but system settings. Yeah. Now they have themes here. They also have themes advanced. Now this is what the themes are. Yeah, you can select these. It's on this one here. It comes default on this one, but you can do this, which is more traditional, classic themes, they say. We're going to do a dark theme. Now you can, like I say, just change the, if you like this list view of the menu, you can just change it right down here and by right clicking on that. Going to configure. So if you like a dark theme, you could have the dark theme, and you can go down there and switch that on. If you want a list viewer, you can leave it this if you like this style. So yeah. There it goes. Took for a while, but it kicked in eventually. Okay, now so themes advanced, that's our traditional Cinnamon desktop theming. Okay, so you could install themes, add, remove like you do on Cinnamon, or you can install them on the terminal if you so desire, and put them in here. But my thinking is, if you're going to download LinDoz, you're doing it because you're interested in the themes, Windows-ish themes of Makulu LinDoz. So why would you want to then theme it to something totally different? So there's not much point in downloading. I mean, you can download this is basically an Ubuntu-based system, so you download any Ubuntu-based system like Linux Mint or stuff like that, and get what theme it out however you want. But this is like, why download LinDoz if you aren't going to theme it out like LinDoz? So it seems pointless to me to change the theme on this much. Yeah. And then keyboard shortcuts, like I say, were the same as that. You know, updating happened easy enough. It's got this little thing down here. Your system is up to date, current patch number, blah blah blah. So when you need updates, I'm sure that'll change. To what, I don't know for sure, but it'll change in some down there. Okay, so here you have all your themes and your LinDoz thing. Oh, I forgot to show the wallpapers. And now this is a little bit different than Cinnamon the way it does it normally. You go to select wallpapers. That's the big wallpaper options. You also one, but then you gotta do all this other stuff. So select wallpapers, and it displays the wallpapers over on the right side of the screen. And you got it. And you scroll down through this. I don't know if I like this that much, because then you have to figure out how to close this out. And the only way I've found to close it out so far is to go over here and close it from here. But the theming they got on is pretty much, oh look, you can just leave your cursor there and it'll scroll through them gradually. Yeah. So we got Window S theme like that one, and the one default one which is coming up. Not that one. Oh, this one's past it. It's coming in for landing. Coming in for landing. Which I'd have to think of that one. Yeah, so then you got this mountain stream there at the very last one. All I do is click on the phone and change the theme, and changes it. And the way I've closed this way, if I'm going to close this out, is come here. Well, you know what? I wonder if it's got a little X up there at the top. Nope. Just come in here and close. And close that out. But anyway, that's the wallpapers, backgrounds on them. And it's got a good selection on that. So I gave it an 8 on this too, I think. Yep. Gave this one an 8 on that, mainly because it didn't have. Normally I would have given it a lot less if the themes was just those 3 themes in its normal system, but being this is designed to be more like Windows as far as the look and feel of it, then the theming makes sense on that. I mean, you wouldn't want to download it, LinDoz, and change it to something else. That doesn't make much sense unless you just think the system is that great out of the box for you to use. I like the setup. So there's Makulu LinDoz. Or should I say LinDoz, excuse me, on that, and it looks pretty cool. Pretty nice as far as that. It does have roto feel to it. And, you know, OBS looks a little bit different in it, so it looks kind of Windows XP, Windows 98 or somewhere in that range, I think. And that's fun. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, that's your thing. Yeah. If you want something coming from Windows that just looks and feels like Windows the most, they can feel like and look like Windows, then this is your key now. Personally, if it was me, myself, I wouldn't want something that looks exactly like Windows or a lot like Windows. But you may be different in that regard. Because it's a good distro. Taking into account what happened on the installation, if that isn't standard or is just issue with my computer, that's one thing. If it's a common occurrence on other computers, then it could be another problem altogether. Yeah, because I think a lot of people wouldn't install past that if they didn't know how to partition their own hard drives themselves. They're going to have problems with that. Anyway, there you go. That's a look at that. Let's go to spreadsheet now. So here's our spreadsheet. I gave it a 7 for the website navigation because it was a little bit hard to read. Also, the download wasn't real clear where you go to get the download when you first logged in the page or went to the front page. But you had to go to LinDoz and you had to go down a ways before you found it actually. And it wasn't real clear, I think, what a 67. It didn't have a 32-bit and 84-bit, but not a 32-bit system, that kind of thing. So it didn't have that option either. So all you had to do is to download the UE, and so we got a 7 for that issue. 5 on the ease of installation because it doesn't install automatically. You had to partition it to get it to install correctly, which is not going to work for a new user. And then I gave it a 10 for guided tour because it has excellent guides. It had a tour for, as you saw, a tour for the CD, live CD, and a tour for the system when you first booted into it. Actually gave it a little welcome thing similar to Linux Mint. That's pretty good. On the programs, It didn't have an email client, so I lost 2 points from that one. And it didn't have a music player, so it lost a point on that one. So that lost a total of 3 points on that part. And then 9, I gave it 9 for program availability. Standard pretty much for an Ubuntu type system, base system. 10 for the printer step, it went smoothly without a problem, no issues there. 8 for the keyboard setup, mainly because of I gave Linux Mint an 8, so here I had to give this one an 8. Actually, I gave it Linux Mint got an 8. So I had to give this an 8 because it's basically the same system, Cinnamon. And then 8 on the themes and wallpapers. I gave that 8 because it had some pretty wallpapers, but the theming only had 3 options you saw, which could be good or bad depending on your point of view. So anyway, it's supposed to be out of the box. What freedom has the system given them to theme things how they want it? 10 updating and 10 on ease of menu activating programs is all pretty clear, easy, standard software programs, that kind of thing. No issues there. So that's part of all that we had there. Came out with an 84, which is decent, though not exceptional. Didn't quite reach the level of Manjaro or Ubuntu or MX Linux or even Elementary. It's a similar lockdown type system. But it does have an interesting thing in that it has Windows look and feel to it. So if you're wanting a distro that has a look and feel of Windows because you want something familiar to transition somebody to Linux, might be a system to look at if you can get it installed. If you know somebody knows how to install a system like that for you. Once you get past installation and you learn the website navigation, yeah, otherwise it's a pretty good system. You can install your email client of choice and your music player of choice. So that's not a big issue there. And that's really the only other low points you had there. All the rest are fairly high on the point scale and would come out to a good system. You just had picked your clients install. Main place you lost points was on the website navigation and the installation. So if you get somebody to install it and knows what they're doing for you, that's great. And you have a great system. So that's how we looked at LinDoz Cinnamon. Let's go back and have a chat. So that's LinDoz for you, and you can check it out yourself. Yeah, it looks like a good company, a good system, and a good thing to do. All the only issues, you have your installation issue. That's the biggest problem with it. And I don't know if that was due to just my particular computer. You may have it installed automatically and it'll go through the first time. Who knows? Might be just my computer. Or it could be their software. I don't know which one it is. But yeah, it's hard when you're trying to install things on all sorts of configurations of computers. Millions of choices and options you can throw into it. So I understand that. So, but I had to do what I had, you know. That's what happened to me. Might happen to you, might not. Who knows? We'll find out. But anyway, you get past the installation issue, you got a pretty good system overall that I can tell. So keep with it. And we'll get on with it and see you next time when we look at Neptune OS. Yay! So, my favorite planet. And on that note, click like and subscribe down below and notification bell if you want to get notified by email when new videos come out. And also, may the Linux force be with you. Bye.